Hi guys! This last week I shared a vlog with you showing getting your body fat measured through hydrostatic weighing. And as I shared in the vlog, I suspected that my results came out lower than what they should have, and after receiving several messages from a lot of you guys, it confirmed that it was indeed significantly lower than other methods. So what I decided to do is go out on a quest for other body fat test methods, just share that with you, give you my thoughts. I'm going to share the results and also let you know which method I recommend going with. So at the end of the day, there will be 6 total tests. One is the hydrostatic weighing that I did in the other vlog. This vlog is going to have 5 additional methods. So 2 of them are going to be through bioelectrical impedance analysis, or BIA. One of them is a body fat scale that we have at home, and then another one is a handheld machine that we're going to do in just a bit. Then the next one is going to be skin fold calipers, and that is like the old school method to measuring your body fat. And then after that, we're gonna be doing the DEXA scan, which is actually supposed to be the gold standard and the most scientifically accurate method. And then we're going to be doing Bod Pod, which is supposed to be right up there with the DEXA scan in terms of accuracy. There is another variable in terms of availability and price, so at the end of the day, I just wanna share all the information to be able to help you best decide what tests that you should do and that you have in your area. And I'm gonna share with you both my results and my husband's results, just for those of you men who might be interested to see how his results come out. So the first one I'm going to show you is the bioelectrical impedance analysis, BIA, and that is the scale that we have at home. And I do want to mention, you guys know how I feel about weighing yourself. It does show my weight, unfortunately. Just, you know, and I say unfortunately just because it's not anything that I want you to focus on. I don't focus on it. I don't weigh myself every day. And also when I did this test, well, still it's the same week, I'm on my period, sorry guys. And that just causes all sorts of different other hormones and weight fluctuations. And even when it's not that time of the month, us women can have weight fluctuations for no good reason at all, just because we are women. So I really, really don't want you to hold on to whatever weight it says that you are or that I am. Throughout this entire little experiment, my weight fluctuated 5 whole pounds. So as I've mentioned in captions on Instagram and in other videos, how much you weigh is not what is important. What is important is that you are working hard to be your very, very best every single day. And if you want something to benchmark and measure your progress, I highly recommend doing a body fat test. Hopefully you are gonna get that done very soon after watching this vlog. There is also a lot of information in this vlog. A lot of the people that helped us were very, very helpful and thorough and shared a lot of great information. It is very detailed, so if you are not as interested in the specifics of each test, you can go ahead and skip on through. I'm gonna put information below to where you can just jump on to the next body fat test if you are only interested in seeing the results. But if you are interested, I highly recommend watching all the way through because it just gives you a really good understanding of how these tests work and helps better inform you about which method is gonna be best for you. Okay, here we go. .1% body fat.
So go ahead and cover as much of that, and you don't have to squeeze it super tight, just hold it right out kind of in front of you. Okay, so 18.8.
18.8. I feel like that's accurate.
Okay, so you remember I'm going to pinch you in 3
Yep.
spots. Okay. Okay, so completely relax this here. One more time. So now, so I'm going to have you might have to pull down just a little bit. No problem. Point to the top of your hip bone for me. Here. Yep. Okay. Totally relaxed. That's the hardest part.
No
right
flexing.
Here. Okay, so put all your weight on this leg. Okay. Okay, now even out the weight. So stand on both legs. Okay. 23.4.
Interesting. 23.4 with the calipers. Okay. That's interesting because I feel like calipers are like the old school
like, what's it called, like tried and tested, you know,
like the old
method.
school standard.
Yeah.
Depending on which trainer you work with, that's why it's always recommended you get tested by the same trainer each time.
Of course, makes sense.
Let's say next
sense.
time
Yeah.
you get tested by someone else,
Yeah.
they may slightly pinch you different, but at least with the same trainer, we know we're hitting the same areas and they have the same techniques.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
There is a 7 skin fold site, but most gyms don't do that anymore.
I like your shirt, Luca. I just noticed. Is it because it's because Game of Thrones is premiering on Sunday? Yeah.
That's very low.
That's even lower than the hydrostatic
Yeah.
one.
Well,
That's so
the bioimpedance,
interesting.
you know, it can fluctuate.
Right, water, right?
Yeah. Digestion,
Yeah.
water.
Every test fluctuates in different way,
Yeah.
different criteria.
And I think that the most important thing is just to always keep each time that you're testing, keep the method consistent. For people that are like, you know, well, what do I do then? If these are all wrong, then it's like just choose one, stick with it, same person type thing.
Exactly, because what I always tell people, I'm like, look, this will at least tell you if you've dropped a percentage.
Right.
I don't care if the number's correct
Right.
per se.
Exactly.
Right,
And this one, again, if you do it with one person, just do it with the same
right,
person.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so your turn to be pinned. You feel okay taking your shirt off? Okay.
No
Okay,
flexing.
Just relax.
So yours is in a different area.
Yes. So his is challenging to get because you are muscular.
Good.
So different for the guy on the stomach as well. So we do slightly different pinch. So you just get to relax. Okay, so try to take a deep breath for me. Okay. And just go slightly over from the belly button. Perfect. So your body fat is 14.49, so basically 14.5.
So look towards me. So this line, I want it going right down the center of your body.
Okay.
Cool. And toes are going to go up towards the ceiling. Hands are like blades at your side. Yours is going to take about 7 minutes, so keep your eyes closed, hold still.
My shins are like sometimes my toes up.
That was great foot position though.
Okay, great.
This is what the X-ray measured, so the weight of your skeleton. So this is your bone mineral content in pounds. So it would be your bones minus the bone marrow. If we were to incinerate your bones, that's how much your powder weighs. It's kind of morbid, but that's what it is. Lean mass, fat tissue, total mass. Based on that and this, the X-ray has you at 23.5, and you're still in your 20s. So you're in this lovely column here. The 0 to 20th percentile is what we test professional athletes here in LA. So typically the bikini ladies or those physique models, they're in the teens.
Right.
Professional soccer players, upper teens, low 20s. If you look down below, there are 5 regions that we track. Your trunk on the image is the triangle and the rectangle. So that's all your trunk.
Okay.
Your android is the lower abdominal region, and your gynoid is the upper hips.
Okay.
So gynoid, android.
Okay.
The goal for your android fat percentage over time is to be underneath or below each of those percentages.
Okay.
And it is. Your android at 18.5% is the leanest part of who you are.
Wow. And the android is here?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're going to have fat, it's better to have it down here than up here in your stomach.
Got
And
it.
You are the pear and not the apple.
Really?
Pears are good.
Because when I look at myself, I'm an apple.
No, you're not.
Really?
You are not an apple. In other words, if you were an apple, your android fat percentage would almost be the same as your gynoid at 30%.
Interesting. So gynoid is here.
The upper hip.
So the upper hip, so around here.
Yes, and women, generally speaking, lucky us, we will always have higher fat percentages in our arms and legs compared to men. So you'll see even at 20, even at 15%, a woman is still going to have sort of fat in that gynoid region and arms. If we flip to men, you don't really see it in those regions.
Got it.
If they're going to have it, it's in this android region.
Okay.
So that's why I sort of jokingly call this boy fat and girl fat.
Okay.
So, and we'll come back to this
Okay.
in a second. The 1309 is your estimated resting metabolic rate, taking into account your lean tissue measured. So if you, in a 24-hour period, if you were sleeping, this is the minimum.
That's at rest. Yeah,
At
that's
rest.
with doing zero physical activity.
Breathing and blinking.
Yeah, okay.
Like we said on page 1, the goal for your android fat percentage is to be underneath your gynoid. It is, so you have a lovely ratio, less than 1.
Okay.
In other words, we want the fat that's in your stomach to be less than what's in your upper hips bottom.
Okay.
And that's true for you.
Great.
So, speaking of your stomach, there's 2 parts. There's the visceral, the internal fat around your organs. That's how much you have in pounds.
Okay.
So 0.05, you really don't have much.
Okay.
It is the only part of your body that can go to 0. For all intents and purposes, you're pretty much there.
Okay.
Less than a pound is healthy. And for women, anything greater than 2.5 pounds is the risk factor for type 2 diabetes and heart disease.
Got it.
So you're definitely not there. If you care to know how much fat you have in that layer just under your skin, you would subtract your 0.05 from your total android fat on page 1. So 1.55
Okay.
pounds is how much you have in that layer just under your skin.
Okay.
This is more important. There's actual data on this. This is what you see. A pound or less here, you'll see definition. A pound or less here is healthy.
Okay.
So
Great.
everything's looking good. Bone density. You just had a full body DEXA scan. We use the database from NHANES. So your bone density is compared to other women, your age and ethnicity. 0 is the average bone density, and your Z-score is 2. So you have excellent bone density.
Awesome.
Looking good.
Great.
And your muscle balance report, we're looking at the lean tissue in your arms and legs just to see what sort of imbalances you might have.
Okay.
And I don't think you really have any. I'm assuming you're right dominant.
Oh, so I am left-handed, but I throw right-handed. Yeah.
Well, you have 1/10 of a pound more in your left arm,
Okay.
but you have 0.3 in your right leg.
Right.
In other words, you're within our normal ranges,
Okay.
and not to confuse the heck out of you, but
Yeah.
I will
It's okay.
tell you this, that there's a reason why the technician is trying to get you straight on the table. And then at the end, during the analysis, they have to manually manipulate these lines, and they're using anatomical markers on your bones to be able to move these triangles. And more importantly, this center line determines your left and right. So 1 pixel on the screen could be a 1/4 pound.
Got it.
So that's why
Okay.
we say, are you within these normal ranges? And of course.
Okay.
So.
Great.
And then your final 4 pages are data points from page 1. They're your fat and lean tissue columns,
Okay.
and we plot them so we can track
Okay.
you over time.
Awesome.
Usually folks will come in, I don't know, 8 to 12 weeks.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured, every 2 to 3 months. I think the only thing I'm just really blown away that I am more of a pear shape.
You want to be a pear? Cool.
Yeah.
You don't look like that. I mean, do you look like a pear? No. But like the idea is that
We're
you
not
have
fruit.
the higher fat, and you're
Okay.
definitely looking
Okay.
good there.
So,
And your bone density, 0 is the average or the mean. Your Z-score is 0.3, so plus or minus 1 from 0 is considered normal. So you're normal. You have normal bone.
Oh, so he's in the middle.
But the middle doesn't mean bad.
Oh, okay.
He's in normal ranges.
Okay.
He has, so both of you have all your regional data here. And anything averaging 1.2 is considered excellent, and you're
Okay.
1.246.
Oh,
So I mean, you
perfect.
both are looking.
my head is 2.1.
And her head is 2.4, so she has the harder head.
She does. She does.
Well, now we have proof.
So funny.
We want it to be, and if you decide down the road to have children, you'll
Yeah.
lose 10% of your bone mineral content when you're pregnant because you're building the spine of the little one.
Wow.
It's coming from yours, but it comes
wow.
back.
That's interesting.
That's awesome.
Huh. And so you're at
18.
17. Okay, yeah, 17.9.
Usually after 20%, sometimes depending on the woman,
Yeah.
you'll lose your cycle.
Well, exactly.
So-
yeah. And so I was telling him, I don't know if you heard, but we just did the hydrostatic
I
weighing.
did. Yeah, I heard you
They
guys.
told me I was, in the beginning of the year, they said I was 12%.
Wow. Well, you might have been with hydrostatic, and just to caveat,
Yeah.
I heard what he said.
Yeah.
But I'll explain it in a different way, and it should make sense. So, good old Elaine did 5 tests in 2 hours. You'll see the greatest variation is between body spec DXAs and the hydrostatic dunk tank. So this is what I say. Different methods of calculating lean tissue are going to give you different results. The bioelectrical impedance, it's sending a signal. Calipers, that's just the subcutaneous fat. So usually what I tell folks is like, if you talk to your friends and you say you're 23.5 and they're like, oh no, you're not. You're going to say, yes, I am, because even like the little lipids on your head are getting measured. So every tiny little millimeter of your, did you feel straight on there?
Yeah, I
Just
think
got
so.
a little, your upper body just might have been torquing a little. I don't know if you see it right there, but it's very minor.
Oh, interesting.
Just little.
Huh. Okay.
So we are on our way to do our last body fat test, and it is the Bod Pod. So this test was a little bit different. We had to do it fasted, so no eating before, no exercise before. I think they're about 4 hours, but that you can't exercise or eat. And we just scheduled our appointment in the morning, so we just woke up, went straight to the appointment. You also need to wear really tight fitting clothes, and what was the other thing? It's just,
That's it.
I would just say in comparison to other tests that this one was a little bit difficult to actually do because the location's an hour away from us, and all the other tests, it seemed that they were really easy and accessible. Luca mentioned this is also the most expensive, right? How much is this one?
$95.
This one's $95 per person, and the DEXA
There was
Scan.
another one, but it was 2 hours away.
Okay.
And they charge $60.
The DEXA Scan was only like 45, right?
DEXA Scan was
same thing with
45,
like
yeah.
hydrostatic there. It was like about 50. So just something to note, but we will let you know how it goes. Yeah. Do you want me to take my hair down?
Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
5'7", just over 5'7" now. Quarters. It's about 45 seconds, and you run it twice. So when you're in there, it's kind of closed, but it's measuring your densities from the bone, muscle, and fat, and that way we can get your body composition breakdown.
Okay.
It takes about, again, 45 seconds. I'll open it up and let the air out, and then I'll close it right again while you're in there. And then we'll do a second 45 seconds, so you don't have to go in and out. 2 seconds.
Okay. And the cats, are they right here?
Oh, no, those are the dirty. Just
Oh.
inside. Just
It's
inside
okay.
of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So take one of those, and then we have,
And this is-
they're all probably the same size.
Okay. I've never put on a cap before. Do I
Never.
put all of my
I
hair?
would
Never.
What?
The front, and then just push the hair up.
Push the hair
Yeah.
up.
Especially
Okay.
if there's a lot of hair.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay.
You'll find some differences. The DEXA might be really, really precise though.
Right, yeah.
But, this is really close as well.
Okay.
With the caliper, it's only going to get subcutaneous fat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, we only did the 3 sites, so.
Yeah, 3 side is also, there's a 12 side, you can go up to 12 sites,
Yeah.
so 3 side is even going to be more general. So,
Right.
Right. Yeah.
pretty good. Came back, well, I'll let you see it, so you can compare.
Okay.
It's overall at the top.
Okay, so
Yeah,
26.4.
that's
That's higher.
Then
Yeah.
the other ones, yeah.
So the hydrostatic said I was 14,
Okay.
and the DEXA Scan said 23.5.
This is close to the
Yeah, so it's, I mean, this is
DEXA.
closer to DEXA, yeah.
The calipers.
Calipers, I don't know, I'd have to check
Yeah.
the footage, but it was in the 20s,
You
and
need to
the
write this, yeah.
bioelectrical impedance was in the 20s as well. So.
Yeah. What I know, the margin of error on caliper is like 1 to 2%, but it's definitely,
Okay.
usually it's subcutaneous fat only. And then the BIA,
Yeah.
usually that's the like the up to 5%.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So either way, you can put you in a different category. We have the categories here. You
Got
can put you
it.
up here or down here. Because
I'm
you have to
not
like,
athletic.
I think you have to like not have a certain amount of water in your body and all these different things.
For this one too?
For this one's okay.
Oh,
for
okay.
For the BIA. So this one isn't doing any electrical activity. It's just measuring your densities based on the air pressure.
Okay.
And how much volume you displace. But I mean, you were dressed appropriately for it.
Yeah.
You were very still, and it ran it twice just to confirm. So
Right.
control against itself
Cool.
to make sure
Yeah.
the number is right.
Okay.
But DEXA is probably the other one that would be really close. How long ago did you do it?
2 days ago. We're trying to do them all in the
Yeah, the
short
same
section.
time. Just space. It is pretty.
That's really
Kind
funny.
of like that. You watch your head. Go. Normally, the tall is not yet.
He's not supposed to move, right?
No, don't.
I need to stop laughing because you make him laugh.
It'll do it twice.
Okay,
anyway,
okay,
just to make
okay.
sure.
Stop laughing. Stop laughing.
I know, I'm sorry. But right when you got in there, you were like looking all around. You have to stay still.
Okay, I need to lose my ass now.
Yeah, I know. Okay, should I leave the room?
Okay, sorry.
So we've been each doing them together, and we're seeing though that, you know, aside from like my results being different throughout, you know, each of them, our results are not even like, if mine's off 2% on one of them, his isn't, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really weird. Just
It
that,
could be muscle density. If males, you know, typically have a little more lean muscle mass, at least for this one I can speak to.
yeah.
It can measure the densities a little bit better. You know, if it's detecting soft tissue, it might count that as body fat
I see.
on you. So
Yeah,
it's
that makes
tough.
sense. So yours is 18%. What is your weight? 174?
174. Yeah.
Yeah, is that about correct? You're healthy, you're not athletic. Okay guys, so those were all the body fat tests that we did. So to summarize, hydrostatic weighing that was on the other vlog had me at 14.2% body fat, way too low. And I do want to share one of the reasons why I was initially so shocked and upset when I got that reading and the 12% reading back in January is because for women, anytime that you get around 14% or go below 14, you put yourself at risk not only for decreased exercise performance, but it puts you at risk for severe health problems as well. And for men, this range is around 8%. And there's such a difference between men and women in terms of how much body fat they need to be healthy, because at the end of the day, it has to do with women's reproductive organs and ability to reproduce. So our body needs more fat to be able to support our reproductive health. So back to the summary. 14.2% body fat, I came out with the hydrostatic weighing, and the reasons for that is because I probably did not blow out as much air as I could have or should have. Someone else I spoke to said that also the level of the water also will, you know, throw it off as well. And also whether you're sitting or laying down completely, there are just so many different variables that go into throwing it off. So at the end of the day, with all of these tests, there is a margin for error, but this one seems to be that it just comes out really, really low. So the next one, bioelectrical impedance analysis. I did one at home and one at the gym. The one at home came out to 26.1%, and then the one at the gym, 18.8%. So those ones also very, very different. Then we have the skin fold calipers, which came out at 23.4%. The DEXA Scan, 23.5%, which is interesting that those ones are so close, since the DEXA is supposed to be the gold standard and calipers used to be the gold standard. And then the very last one we have is Bod Pod, which came out at 26.4. So for me, the highest was the Bod Pod, the lowest was the hydrostatic weighing. Those ones had the biggest difference between the two. And then just to read off Luca's, for you guys watching, his hydrostatic weighing came out at 14%, which was not the lowest for him, but it still came out pretty low. Then we have the BIA at home, 19.5%, the BIA at the gym, 11.7%. So those two were really, really different, and they're both bioelectrical impedance analyses. The next one is skin fold calipers, 14.5%, which is similar to hydrostatic weighing. The DEXA Scan, 17.9%, and the Bod Pod, 18.4%. So for him, the DEXA Scan and Bod Pod were really, really similar. Only 0.5 difference. For me, they were 3% difference. So, you know, they weren't consistent between the two of us, and the differences, it's because we're two totally different people. And there are factors that go into, you know, all of the results that are different from male to female, from one female to the next female, etc. One other thing that I did want to add is just in terms of the accessibility of each of them. Like I said, Bod Pod was a bit harder to schedule. It was further away. It wasn't as convenient. So if it is convenient in your area, I think that Bod Pod is great. Where we went, it was actually at a, I believe the Four Seasons, and it was the California Institute for Health and Longevity. And so we think that maybe theirs was more expensive there. It was $99 because it is at that location, because Lucas said another location was only $60. And then the DEXA scan was only $50. The BIA methods are usually free if you're at a gym or you have one at home. Calipers are normally free as well. With all that being said, the one that I would recommend is the DEXA scan, just because of how detailed it is and how scientifically accurate it is. They have actually been using these machines in hospitals for years and years, so the technology is tried and tested. And I think for all the information you get, it's a really, really good deal. I do also want to note that the DEXA scan does have traveling, they have like mobile trucks that they go around and do it, so you might want to check their website. Hydrostatic Weighing does that as well, but I am no longer a fan of hydrostatic weighing, so I really would not even recommend that. And then Bod Pod, I don't know if they have little travel ones, but you can check on their website as well. I'll put all of that information, all the direct links for you below, so you can check that out. So at the end of the day, the message that I want to share with you in regards to doing body fat testing is not that there's any one or the other that is the most accurate, even though I do think DEXA is the most accurate. But if you do not have access to it, or you want to find a free version, my recommendation is to pick one method and stick with it. It's when you hop around from method to method, that is when you get all the discrepancies, and you want to try to keep all the variables as consistent as possible. And if you are doing skin fold calipers, you want to be sure to do it with the same person each time, so they're pinching you in the same exact spot. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter which one you do, unless you want to be the most scientifically accurate. But really, you know, if you only have access to calipers or BIA, do that and keep doing that. And no matter which method you choose, just please remember to not be discouraged by that number on the scale. I honestly think we're just gonna throw that guy away, because now that we have seen all of these and we know how accurate the DEXA scan is, we personally have no use for that. I don't even weigh myself with it, and I hope you don't either. Remember, the scale does not have the ability to tell you how much muscle you have gained and how much fat you have lost. Not even this scale right here can tell me that. So at the end of the day, it's not really giving me any value or any helpful information. So I think that is it. If you have any other methods that you recommend or would like me to test out, go ahead and comment those below. I do want to do a follow-up video on this in the next few months. We're gonna try to be consistent and do this every 3 months, and we'll likely do the DEXA scan. But if you have any other ones that you want me to try out, I would be happy to compare those to the DEXA scan the next time that we get to do this. So as usual, I appreciate all of your interaction, engagement, love, and feedback. If you have any other questions, even aside from body fat stuff, feel free to comment them below. One more thing, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! When you lose fat from your overall body, including from your breast. And first, what are macros? Also referred to as flexible dieting.